Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. Aloha.
Aloha, and here we are. I say today is episode number 80, Our Energy Matters. If somebody comes to us and sees this for the first time, they should know that in our episodes of Our Energy Matters, we explore the practice and poetics of physical, mental, and spiritual self-care revealed through Dena Marie's intuitive soul search, discoveries, and prescriptions for living a blessed life, a life anointed by well-being, self-love, healthful connections with others, and enlightened and balanced body, mind, spirit, energy. And I love saying that because it's what we've been doing, and for people, and of course, I mean, when I say, when I mention you and I say, explore the practice of poetics through Dena Marie's intuitive soul search. Well, here it is. Your intuitive soul search is, recorded in your book, which I will introduce in just a little bit. Our Energy Matters is the title, with two other titles, which are also very revealing and used to be bewildering to me because I didn't connect with the concepts. It was very new to me, an old guy like me. So I say to everybody today, Dita de Pachas, which is wishing a day of peace to our Albanian listeners and viewers. And I also say İçten uzun tumuz, which is Turkish, and it's our heartfelt sorrow for those people affected by the earthquakes that seem to be continuing. So in our episodes, what I do is I work through Dena Marie's book, and I then usually, here it is, I write a piece, I'll call it that. And it all started because you, Dena Marie, interviewed me on her radio show, Lift Your Spirits, about my book that came out back then for children, and it's Loukas in the Game of Chance, and it's Loukas's journey back to retrieve himself in his honor, and it was very nice to have Dena Marie look at some of the metaphors in the book, and so we started talking to one another, and then I heard about her book, and I thought, now can I find it? Well, it was right there on Amazon. And I started reading it and started to come to understand, to the point where for today's title, I can say this by now, I know what you mean. I say decoding the alchemy of crystal truth telling, and it just seems to me that that's what it's all about. It came to me because you recently read my crystals,
Read your crystals.
Yeah, right. And so I say here, the description is you receive the sacrament of healing conjured by crystal color wakefulness. So I go on, I say, folks, hear me out, please. I am an old guy blessed with a charmed life and good fortune. Why is that? You see, I am privileged to be a welcomed pilgrim in a spiritually gratifying domain to which I travel whenever the spirit moves me. Not by train, plane, or car, but by the mystery of intuition, sanctioned by heart, mind, and imagination, beckoning me to hold close the regenerative pages of a deeply rewarding and uplifting book. A book? It's a book wherein the author, a spiritual guardian, entices me to welcome self-love. This is so important because when I was growing up, self-love was thought of as, well, I say it here, not as a human flaw akin to vanity and selfishness, but as a divinely inspired basic human necessity, essential for living fully, healthfully, and happily. And it's a book where this is made possible through stories that this spiritual guardian tells in her book about people that she has healed. She's an angelic host, I think that's a new one.
It's a new one.
And she questions me and her followers with a profound challenge. And this is the question: are you preparing for life, stifling it, or living it as in receiving a treasure to be nurtured and purified and sanctified in an effulgence? I looked that word up. I love it. It's like a deluge of gratitude. It's a book that tells of seekers and curious folks, nomads, her clients coming to Dena Marie on her island and beyond. She's a faith healer with soul, mind, body afflictions, and heartfelt. These people come with body afflictions and heart, soul blockages, willing to be enlightened and inspired by energized, fired up teachings and prescriptions, powered by restorative chakra rituals, crystal electrified readings of the stones they choose, Reiki touch healing, growing awareness of synchronicities. And I always think now, I didn't think about this very much until we did synchronicities on your radio show once, which I think are mysterious as coincidences that help change a life. And also illuminations discovered through exploring astrological signs, which you've also done for me and my partner. So you're all invited to slip slide a few bebop steps into the inner sanctum of this spellbinding book authored by Dena Marie. Here it is, The Spiritual Guardian, metaphysically titled Our Energy Matters. And it doesn't stop there. There's more to strike an interest in. Title number 2, The Art of Crystal Reading. What? I said crystal reading. I wondered when I first smack dabbed the promise of reading crystals. What is that? Well, I set out to find out. And then there's a third title that gloriously sanctions self-exploration. Title 3, Learn How to Manifest Your Heartfelt Intentions. And I just did that this morning again now. It's becoming a habit. My heartfelt intention. I love doing that because I can remind myself throughout the day. So I start talking here about the range of enchanting power of crystals for the light they shed on chakra energy through the magnificent prism of the crystal's colors. And I thought, aha, so we probably have to do this again. Chakra energy. What in God's name and Goddess's name is chakra energy? Well, listen to Dena Marie's answer, sounding very much like an alchemist of spirit, mind, and heart. She says there are 7 of these major energy centers in the human body. And as soon as I had heard that, I thought to myself, how come nobody ever told me this before? And hundreds of minor ones, and they receive, assimilate, and distribute energy throughout our energetic fields, our auras, energy systems. So, but what startled me awake, as I say here, was this. These chakras resonate and vibrate at the same frequency as their respective colors of the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. And are the network through which the body, mind, and spirit can come together and can come together. And I thought, wow. So I talked to myself, old guy, pursue the urge, the calling, and ask the celestial guardian to join you in bringing to bright light this color crystal chakra bond. Interconnection, maybe that's probably a better word. So in previous episodes of Our Energy Matters, I collaborated with Dena Marie, my celestial mentor, in bringing into bright light color crystal chakra relationships. We found our way to the crown chakra and parsed the meaning of aligning clear quartz and moonstone with a healthy crown. And folks, the thing that I want to point out is if you buy her book, find her book, whatever, all you have to do is go here to the back of the book, the back cover, and you will find these connections. Now, because what's important to find out for me, as I kept asking myself, was, wait a minute, why clear quartz and moonstone? Well, you come to understand that in her book because she relates to you what those crystals have come to mean to her. So can you, for example, right now talk about moonstone? Is that possible?
So what am I wearing? I'm wearing black, but moonstone is the higher chakras. So it goes,
Yeah.
like you said, the colors of the rainbow. I start with white and crystal clear. And then I move to the third eye, which is your amethyst or purple, like what you're wearing. Turquoise, the throat chakra is blue. Heart chakra is green and pink. You got solar plexus, that's below your heart, that's yellow. So we're going through the rainbow.
Right.
Sacral's orange. And then the root chakra is your hips to the floor, which is red. And I came up with the white and the crystal part because sometimes this is a very violet color in most charts, the chakra. But moonstone to me is, think about looking up, right? Think about the colors. When you look up, you see white, you see the moon, you see the stars. When you see the sky, it's turquoise blue, and at night it's indigo. So those are the upper chakras. That's where you get your intangibles. And then the lower chakras, your heartfelt intentions right here, is where you manifest through those denser colors, which is red, orange. Really, red is the densest of those colors. But it's kind of metaphoric, and it's fun, and it's the way I look at it. That white to me is light. So it's when your light bulb goes off and you look up. So that's kind of how that all happened. And moonstone is one of those stones that I use kind of when I want inspiration or I want to look up.
Good. Okay. And then I mean, yeah, and that came out right away, I mean, and that clarifies so much for me. And then the throat chakra, I say, yes, which crystals did we illuminate as significant for its health?
Turquoise. If
Yeah.
I see a woman wearing just turquoise everything, I'm like, you need to say something. And she normally does.
Yeah.
And she might even have issues in her throat, like thyroid issues and stuff. She spent a whole lifetime unable to express herself. And it just tells me that she needs to get something off her chest.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And then the heart, which crystals align with heart because you talk about heart in the chakra list there, heart compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. And that's quite nice, in terms of
can you see this? This is rose quartz.
oh yeah, yeah.
So there's the pink, and then I have lots of green stones. But like there's aventurine, there's malachite. But usually the rose quartz is pink, but there's a few other stones that are pink. But if someone picks pink, I know they're working on self-love. And if they pick lots of green, I know they might be giving too much. So there's that balance. So in the book, you'll see the pink and the green side by side.
Yeah.
For the heart chakra.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And then, so today, you talked about this a little bit, but I thought let's focus on the solar plexus chakra. Tell us first about a healthy solar plexus.
So I told you the example today that I kind of was focusing on something negative when I woke up, which I shouldn't have done. And then I kind of didn't want to get out of bed. And then I looked at my Facebook page, and the chakra prescription was about solar plexus and how excited you are to get up in the morning. That means your solar plexus are healthy. If you have something you're working on, a project, and you jump out of bed in the morning, that means you're okay. If you don't want to do anything and you're sitting in your own stuff, that means your solar plexus are blocked. And when I forgot that we had our thing today, I jumped out of bed, our Zoom and our talk, and then I went to the gym, and you got the party. Just meeting with you each week excites me, and it makes me feel good. And I, because normally we'll meet on a Thursday, Friday, but it was Saturday morning, and I was so excited. I was like a little kid at Christmas.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because I mean, the thing is that there's and I think the thing that you talked about today, which is very interesting when we had our phone conversation, was the fact that we've never met in person, and people should know I'm out here in the East Coast in a sense, and you're out there on the West Coast, and and the twain shall not meet right now. but who knows, maybe sometime in the future, because I have a home in Arizona, which is closer to you than here in Ohio. So
And the relationship chakra is your sacral, which is the orange chakra. And you were saying how hard it is to have relationships when you don't get to see people. And then we both realized
we
have a major great relationship, and we do it,
Yeah, that's so true. And one of the things that I wanted to write into this my relationship with your book today, that I didn't talk about, and I mean to talk about it each time, is that there's a great deal of I wouldn't say humor, but why not? I mean, we laugh a lot, and sometimes we laugh because we look at some ridiculous thing we've done or said, or you know what I mean? And I love that, because it just brings you right down to face yourself,
And
and
synchronicities, we're in sync. It doesn't matter. Like, you might even write something that we talked about, but I didn't even know that you wrote it. Or we might be having the same funky issue or defunct issue, grand funk issue. And then we just talk about it, and we lift our spirits, and we move on. It's amazing.
It's totally amazing. And it's time for us. Yeah, sure, we're coming to the end of this episode. And I say, let's end it with a bit of wisdom from a meditation teacher and spiritualist, Tara Brach. I go to her sometimes because I like her guided meditations. She says, and it's so simple but so profound, with the inflow and outflow of the breath, we relax with the life that's arising within. And it's made me think all day, that when you stop, and you actually do the breathing in and the breathing out, which is basic to a lot of people's meditations and living life, it's so valuable to be reminded of how important the breath is.
Well, and the first thing you do is, when you think about what's broken in the world, is you quit breathing. It's every time, like, I'll be stressed about something and I realize I'm not breathing. And if I can just be in the now and focus on what I'm doing, I'll remember to breathe. And of course, you're going to be anxious if you're not breathing. You think you're drowning, but you don't know, because you're so in your head. So breathing, yes, I used to make stickers for people. Count to three, breathe.
Don't forget to breathe. Yeah, I mean, I know that all the time, that when I get into a funk, I could just feel like this, it becomes so tense. And once I go step to the window, go outside, look up, look down, look sideways, and start breathing again, then it just falls into place, and you realize, give yourself a laugh, Anthony. Come on,
Breathe, just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe, man. Want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom? Then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 11:50 a.m. KKNW, Friday mornings. Her website is dena-marie.com, and you can find out about a lot of things about her, including her radio show, Lift Your Spirits, but also about the fact that she is a Reiki healer, and that the whole idea of crystal healing and being with people and having them choose their crystals, it's all very illuminating and very uplifting. She's also on Facebook, often with the daily chakra insight into chakra energy, blockage, and prescriptions. Oh, and the prescriptions in this book, I'm planning on going there soon, because in my writing, because I just find it so helpful, because they're so doable and so practical, and so uplifting. Startling photographs of the island she inhabits out west. Prayerful advice about self-care. And also, you can go to my website, which is anthonymannabooks.com, for an interview with Dena Marie. And if you go to Podbean podcast, there you'll find that interview, the interview with Dena Marie, and the interview with a lot of other people, especially people who want to uplift the spirits of children, let's put it that way, with reading and writing, because that was my profession at the university. to work on getting kids to come alive and come to love themselves and the world around them, and to recognize the world around them through reading and writing. And there we are,
Yay.
episode 80.
It seems like I've known you for lifetimes. It's just so strange, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
so
it
strange.
is. It is. I mean, I think we probably met in a former life, maybe in a monastery or something. Maybe you were a nun and I was the priest or whatever.
I'm going with temple workers in Atlantis. I don't know.
Yeah. Something like that. But it's magical. It really is. And somewhat mysterious, but also very uplifting. That's why I love the title of your show. So, well.
Thank you,
Everybody,
Anthony.
everybody, thank you all for watching and listening. And see you, Dena Marie.
Aloha.
Aloha and namaste.
Namaste.